Good morning, everybody. My name is Barry Schwartz, and this is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, November 14th, and we got a lot to cover. We got the Movember update from Google. Google's tool encouraged users to create AI content spam. Google Discover has their own AI spam problem, what Google says they're working on. Copilot from Microsoft launched their own search features, and Google Ads, and so much more. So definitely stay tuned. And of course, I'd like to thank our sponsor, SimilarWeb. SimilarWeb is the all-in-one strategic SEO software company. They get clarity on your SEO landscape through competitive analysis, keyword research, rank tracking, SERP analysis, and SERP insights, and so much more. With industry-leading traffic and keyword data based on real user journeys, SimilarWeb gives SEO professionals the whole picture so they can understand and strategize smartly and drive sustainable business traffic. Check them out at similarweb.com. Thank you so much for sponsoring SimilarWeb. Appreciate it. And they have a lot of cool AI tools as well, so definitely check that out. Okay, so first up, we posted about a Google possible unconfirmed update twice this week. One on Sunday, which I named the Movember update because people are like, you're spelling November wrong. I'm like, yeah, I know, I'm spelling November wrong. In any event, it probably started off around November 7th or so, and actually it went throughout the whole week. We saw a lot of volatility around the 7th, and then we saw even more volatility, including chatter and signals from the actual third-party tools around November 12th. A lot of people are chattering about this, lots of comments and so forth. So if you did see a significant amount of volatility in Google search with your rankings going up or down, and then traffic may be impacted by that, maybe not, November 7th and November 12th, you're not alone. And then Google released this blog post promoting their new AI tool to create mini apps called Opal or Opal, O-P-A-L. And part of that was in that top content, according to, as spotted by Nate Hank, but a bunch of other people, was that Google wrote, Opal is to help them create custom content in a consistent and scalable way. It also helps you generate optimized blog posts. I mean, this seems the way they wrote scalable AI-generated content seems, or scalable any type of content, seems like it's against Google's scaled content abuse policy, which says, and I quote, using generative AI tools or other similar tools to generate pages without adding value for users may violate Google spam policies and whatever. Okay, of course, the intent might not be to manipulate Google search results, but it's scaled. And even if you're not using AI for it, if you're just doing scaled content, that's an issue. In any event, there's a lot of chatter around this. Google really gave me a non-statement basically saying, and let me quote, it's a Google Labs experiment. People could develop mini apps with it, and we're seeing people create apps and help them brainstorm narratives and first drafts of marketing content to build upon. In search, our systems aim to surface original content that our spam policies are focused on fighting content that is designed to manipulate search while offering little value to users. Again, nothing new there. Google kind of just didn't respond to this specific tool and how it could actually be used to manipulate. Basically saying, don't use the tool to manipulate Google search. If you do, we'll go ahead and penalize it. They could have just said it like that, but they kind of didn't. So, clear PR statement. And then Google said on the AI spam problem in Google Discover that they're working on a fix. They told this to the Press Gazette. They said, we're actively working on a fix to address specifically the issues with that was pointed out by the Press Gazette, which is basically AI-generated fake content news that is polluting the Google Discover feed for many people. We'll see if that fix actually rolls out, but Google is addressing that according to Google. Okay, and then on the Google Shopping side, Google announced a bunch of AI features right before the holidays. One is in AI mode, there's that new comparison feature, which we actually showed you about a month and so ago, a little over a month ago, where you could actually compare like shopping products as well as local results. In AI mode, it will give you a comparison, which is pretty cool, but that's been out for like, I think 6 weeks now. Google will also call a store for you and try to get pricing and details that you are asking for without you having to call the store using AI. Also, Google will track prices using AI to see when that price hits your target value. Finally, Google actually, when they find that price hits that target price that you're looking for, it would actually go ahead and potentially make the order for you. You can say buy now. A pop-up saying the price hit this price. Do you want to buy now? You hit buy now. It'll actually do the actual checkout process for you with some merchants. This is rolling out right now for a lot of people in specific like Shopify and so forth. So definitely take a look at that. And then with Microsoft Copilot, their AI stuff, they said they actually released its own dedicated search feature in Copilot, which not only is really cool because it's AI, yay, but also because it offers better links and citations for publishers. Microsoft really pushes the publisher thing, which makes a lot of sense. And they said, in short, dedicated search experience in Copilot, more prominent citations in the responses. 3, citations are more clickable to the publisher's website. There's full lists of references. And 5, dedicated navigation links at the top of the response, not just at the bottom of the response, that obviously drive more clicks. So I like that response from Microsoft. Copilot, I wish more people used it because they do push the publisher side. And then Google offered ways for merchants to actually communicate their shipping and return policies, even if you don't have Google Merchant Center. You can do it 2 ways. One is in Google Search Console. The user interface will let you do that if Google determines that you're a merchant that offers this stuff, so that you'll see that merchant. Previously, Google had this, but you had to actually have your Merchant Center account hooked up to your Google Search Console's account, and now you no longer have to have that. 2 is you can add a method where there's markup, structured data. There's a new structured data for organizational level shipping policy structured data, not just return policy structured data. So there's all this documentation around that, so definitely take a look at that. It may help people who don't want to use the Merchant Center get their shipping information there. I'm surprised. Again, I think Google should just have it in one place, Merchant Center, but hey, Google will be Google. And then Google said they're not killing off schema or structured data. Some may come and go, John Mueller said, but overall, even though Google announced last week that they're removing some structured data and some search features are going away, it doesn't mean that all of schema is going away, which Google just announced a new schema just before around organizational level shipping policies. Also, Google Image Search is testing showing not just shopping ads, but normal text ads. Google in 2016, I believe, came out with the first ads on Google Image Search, which were shopping ads, which makes a little more sense. But to have text ads in Google Image Search doesn't really make much sense. This is just an experiment. Google did not announce this. Anthony Higman was able to spot this. I'm not able to replicate this at all, but this is pretty worrisome. And Greg Fig did a great job summarizing why on its new just a couple days ago. And then on the AI side, Google is also releasing Ads Advisor and Analytics Advisor. We saw Google test this back in 2020, or pre-announce this back in 2023, and then a lot of testing of this over the year. And now, and then actually like a month or 2 ago, actually in August, Google renamed their AI helper and they named it Ads Advisor. And now it's rolling out in early December to English language accounts globally. So again, there's a lot of reasons this is cool and not good. There's a lot of people actually testing this right now, and it works pretty well. But of course, you need a human interaction. Not only will it give you suggestions, but you can actually say, implement that for me, and it might do that. Of course, you can revert those changes and push them back if you want. But definitely, this is a tool, and don't let it just run your whole campaign for you. And then there's a lot of people doing studies around using AI Max, which is their new future match type. And according to some people, including Xavier Mantica on LinkedIn, basically saying that it just underperforms other match types. He basically said AI Max campaigns are showing 90% higher cost per conversion than phrase match. And he broke it down after 4 months of testing. He went through a bunch of examples. Also, Mike Ryan shared his data showing across 250 different campaigns how it's the worst match type you could actually use. But as Greg Fig said on this new earlier this week, it depends. You should try for a bunch of campaigns. Some it might actually work well for. He has one campaign that is working great for. So keep trying and testing because these things will change and improve over time. And then on the local service ad side with message leads, there's new value-based pricing. Anthony Higman got an email from Google basically saying this will not just give you a 50% discount, but potentially a higher discount for your message leads. There's 3 things that they announced here, which is called message fan out, which is we saw when you request quotes in Google local service ads, the person requesting the quote actually can say, I want to get quotes from a bunch of people, not just from the person I actually went to. And those people who get the message fanned out quotes, which is funny how they name it that, will also get a discount, maybe more, called value-based pricing, which is more than the flat 50% discount and so forth. And also Google has improved lead qualifications, whatever that might mean, to go ahead and give you better credits around local service ads. Also on the Google side, Google's testing a new way to import your social media campaigns and assets. This is spotted by Francisco Cifardi, who basically shared a screenshot showing all his X ads, like Twitter ads, assets are being shown in Google, saying, do you want to use these? And Ginny Marvin confirmed, saying this is part of an experiment to make it easier for advertisers to add their own existing high-performing social video assets into their Google Ads campaigns. She also said this is not related to any availability of the X inventory on the Google Display Network. So it's unrelated to that. I don't know how Google knows it's high-performing. I don't know how Google gets this information, but they are getting this information, so keep that in mind. Google Ads also is bringing brand inclusions to standard shopping campaigns. This was only available previously with PMAX campaigns, but now they're also available for standard shopping campaigns. Also, Google Ads summaries are showing up in the budget optimization settings screen. This is spotted by Adrian Decker via Vijay Kumar. So now you can get a quick summary using AI to summarize what your budget settings are. Google also updated earlier this week, or going to update, their unacceptable phone number policy, basically saying phone numbers found to be associated with fraudulent activity with a history of policy violations are unacceptable. This policy is going into effect December 10th. What worries advertisers is that this might affect call tracking, where people abuse call tracking numbers that were in the queue, and that could actually have an impact on their campaigns, and they have no control over which phone number is going to show for their call tracking. So keep that in mind. I think Google will probably figure this out before it goes live, but you never know, so be on top of that on December 10th. Also, Google announced, Jimmy Marvin announced that their advertiser suspensions are being improved. Specifically, Google said that they have reduced incorrect advertiser suspensions by 80%. Appeals are addressed 70% faster, and 99% of appeals are addressed within 24 hours. So it's a big update there with advertiser appeals, which are suspensions, which is a big deal for a lot of advertisers. Also, we reported about the Google's Business Profiles negative review extortion scam reporting tool about 6 weeks ago or so, and we asked some people to actually try it out, and 2 people actually that I know of tried it out in the local SEO space, and they said it works, and it works fast. So if you are having issues with people trying to scam you and extort you over negative reviews or low reviews, use that tool. Google will actually resolve the issue for you. And finally, Google proposed 2 changes to their ad tech, specifically Ad Manager, with the EU ad tech, monopoly case, which is like 2-point-something billion euros or so. And Google proposed 2 changes. One is to be able to let the advertiser actually specify a different price per network, and 2, more interoperability between their tools and other tools. In any event, thanks so much for listening to the Search Buzz video recap. My name again is Barry Schwartz, and this is search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable, SEOroundtable.com. Again, thanks to SimilarWeb for sponsoring. Everyone have a safe, healthy weekend. I'll see you guys next. Goodbye.